We have seen the man with no eyes since season 1, and even before Taisha goes to the wilderness, so we can assume that he has nothing to do with the wilderness and he did not follow her back. He's been with her before even that. But the man with no eyes is played by Bram Taylor, and we see him first when Taisha's grandmother is dying, and just like the cabin daddy, he appears in the opening credits also. We know that the only other person that has seen this man is Ty's grandmother, but there are times when he simply appears and then just stare at Ty and really does nothing else. But it seems most of those times Ty is embodying her dark version of himself whenever that man is around, so there's definitely a connection there. But what's interesting to me is the one time he led her to the cliffside, like he's trying to kill her. For what reason, we're not too sure, but in my last video I talked about how the vision that Jackie was having as she was dying, she could see Laura Lee and the cabin daddy as well, and he states that he is waiting for her, or we have been waiting for you. I also talked about how he could be a collector of souls, so we know that Ty would walk around at night finding the marked trees, and they also figured out that those trees also created a bigger symbol, so that symbol could be marking the forest for some type of territory, like I talked about in my previous videos as well. But what if the man with no eyes was luring Ty to that cliffside so he can get her out of that range from the cabin daddy and kill her, so the cabin daddy wouldn't kill her, just in case if she died in those woods. But Ty was saved before even able to fall off the cliff, and she snapped out of that. But we do still see him in the present timeline, so he's definitely came back, and we still are not exactly know why he's there. But also, since her grandmother was seeing this man as well, this could be like some type of family curse that was casted on her family, and this man could be like eating at her soul or something of the like. And as to why her family is cursed, we really don't know for right now. We don't get a lot of her backstory of when she was younger, but maybe we could get some answers in season 3. But the man with no eyes and the cabin guy could be opposing forces, at least while they were in the wilderness. In season 3, we'll probably see if any more people get claimed by the cabin guy, and we will probably see the man with no eyes again. But as I said in my last video, the cabin guy could be the personification of death, but I'm starting to think that that is not the case, and the man with no eyes is actually that, because he does appear to Taisha a lot of times when someone has died or something has died. Like when her grandma died is when she first saw him, and then he's there when Biscuit has passed away as well, her dog, and we can probably assume that it was around the same time that that happened during that speech in the present timeline. And she also sees him right before she almost falls to her death, so it would definitely make more sense that he could be death, because the cabin daddy was really only seen by Jackie when they were in the hut. There's no other talk of him being outside of the forest, but they're definitely keeping the man with no eyes, his identity and backstory under wraps. There's really not anything that we could really go off of to try to speculate on who he could be, so we'll just have to wait and see what they tell us. But also, the entity is not the only thing that she sees in her hallucinations. She has also seen a wolf on multiple occasions, and most of the times it seems that the wolf has lured her away and helped her in some situations. But that wolf could be a guardian spirit or something of the like that might be protecting her from the man with no eyes, and it's possible that she found that guardian spirit when she had her time in the wilderness. But let me know what you all think about that, and let me know if I miss anything, and what do you guys speculate on who the man with no eyes is in season 1. But he is played by William Charles Vaughn. It says the name of his character on IMDb, and we can see that his name is Hunter, so we can deduce that the man that they find in the attic is the same man that Jackie sees in that vision. Still, as to why he is in the middle of a Canadian forest, who knows, but we know that he was surviving up there. He also is probably the one who put all of the wilderness symbols everywhere. The same man can be seen in the opening credits of the show as well, and it's almost the same shot that we see when he is talking to Jackie and looking at her. So who could he be, and why did he appear as Jackie was dying? Well, there are a lot of things we can speculate on, but first we also see Laura Lee in this vision as well, and once we see her, we can kind of figure out that this is like something supernatural maybe might be happening, or something. This isn't like normal, like Jackie was definitely hallucinating here, and we know that because she died die trying to fly the plane out of the forest. So as Jackie's seeing ghosts, we know she's not with us anymore, and the hunter says that we've been waiting for you. I'm not too sure what he could have meant by that, but could the forest be trapping their souls there, and that's why Jackie is seeing them? Also, during this, Lottie is freaking out a bit and possibly gets possessed. She then starts to speak like fluent French, and we know that they are in Canada, so maybe it's possible the hunter is a French Canadian and he was the one that possessed Lottie. Also, what she was saying was translated to "it wants more blood, it wants more blood, it wanted more blood, blood is flowing here." It's a lot of creepy sounding stuff like that. So whoever the hunter is talking about when he says "we've been waiting for you," it seems like that is the thing that wants them to spill blood or offer it. I made a video earlier talking about how the Antler Queen is not a actual person, but something that they embody to survive in the wilderness. But at this point, I'm thinking that the Antler Queen might be the dark forces that are making them kill in the first place. And maybe when Shauna kills Adam in the present timeline, that is when everything started back up again. It also could be possible that the hunter's whole family line could be worshippers of something down in this forest, and maybe his family was the one to keep the evil force at bay, and that hut could have been the hut that they all lived at generation to generation, because the hut does look pretty old. But I talked about in the video where we discussed the Melisse that they could be unknowingly worshipping some deity or even multiple ones. So maybe this could be it. We have seen many wild things that happen to them, and most of them helped them survive, like the bear offering itself to Lottie, and when Javi was on his own, what did he eat to survive that long by himself? Also, speaking of Javi, after they find him and they return back to the hut, Javi tells the coach that she did not want him to come back, and we don't know who Javi was talking about. It could have been the deity warning Javi because a dark entity has basically corrupted all of the Yellowjackets. Whoever Javi was talking to, it was clear that she was looking out for him, but maybe the hunter could also be the personification of death, or the Grim Reaper, if you will. And this could also explain why he says "we have been waiting for you." It could be all of the people that have died in this forest, but the Grim Reaper is a entity or a unavoidable force, but he normally carries a scythe to reap souls, and he also comes from Western cultures, but he appears when someone is about to die to take them to the other side. And I will say Laura Lee is there in that vision that Jackie has, but there are some people that have died before this, like the other coach in the very first episode, and he is not seen in his vision. So maybe this dude only wants certain people, like maybe only the Yellowjackets, and that would lean along more of the lines that these could be Melisse, like a cult, and he could be like the leader of the cult back then when he was alive. But some other points to further drive that there might be a higher presence that is interact with them. Before they go and eat that bear that Lottie kills, she makes sure to sacrifice the heart to the forest to thank it for feeding them. So Lottie is treating the forest like a person or something else. And also Lottie talks about how she has a sensitivity to certain things like the dead ever since she was little. But back to the hunter. Do you guys remember when Van is on her deathbed after the wolf dragged her around the forest? Well, Van talks about how she saw something there when she was laying on the bed while they were saving her, and we can see some weird little figures that surround her. Could this be more ghosts like we see with Laura Lee and the cabin guy? These could be the family members of the cabin guy, and he may have killed them while he was alive, or maybe they were other survivors that were in this wood. I also previously talked about how these woods could be like a hunting zone, but not for just animals, but human as well, and the symbols could mark its territory. So what if the thing that Van saw were spirits of the survivors, or maybe even the cabin guy's family? And the reason why they might not have fully apparated is because Van didn't die. She did pull through, and Jackie was already dead while she was having that vision, and that could be why the cabin guy was able to talk to her, and also why she was able to see Laura Lee. It's possible there are a lot of supernatural beings that fill the forest, but I do think it could be the cabin guy's family. Like, it could be his daughter or wife that was helping Javi to survive. But that would be all that I have for today's video. Thank you for watching, everyone, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.